And so every week, guys, what I want to do, I want to, but before I really kick off training, I'm going to do something that I call the Mamba moment. The Mamba moment, where we take an excerpt of what Kobe Bryant has talked about, and then we kind of look at it and dissect it and talk about how this can apply to our business and in our industry. All right. And so in this week's Mamba moment, I'm going to share my screen. In this week's Mamba moment, I want to talk about something from the book. And this is from the section of the book that's called The Process. And this is an excerpt from the book. It says, from the beginning, listen to this. From the beginning, I wanted to be the best. He said, from the beginning, I wanted to be the best. Before, and what I mean by that, before he stepped foot on an NBA court, coming straight out of high school, a teenager into the NBA, a game where they say this is a grown man's game. He's a teenager stepping into a grown man's game. He said, from the very beginning, I wanted to be the best. He was not intimidated. He didn't have an inferiority complex. He said, no, I wanted to be the best. I had a constant craving. Check this out, Quee. I had a constant craving. He went even further. He doubled down. A yearning to improve and be the best. So I didn't just want it and just say I want it. No, I had a craving to get better. I wanted to improve. He said, I never needed any external forces to motivate me. I never needed any external forces to motivate me. He showed up with the desire to be the guy, to be the one, to be the very, very best at the game. And he didn't just say it. He didn't just talk about it. He worked on it vigorously, tirelessly, every single day in order to ensure that that would happen. And so let's talk about that motivation and where it came from. And so it got me curious about just the subject of motivation, right? And I started looking it up and I said, hey, you know what? The two different types of motivation that really stick out, two types of motivation. You have intrinsic motivation and then you have extrinsic motivation. The intrinsic motivation, obviously, that's the motivation that comes from within, right? And that's what Kobe had. He said, I needed no external forces, no external things to motivate me. But I tell you what, extrinsic motivation, that's not a bad thing as well. So you can look at it as internal and external, right? Just a fancy way to say that. And so let's talk about them. So what's some examples of internal motivation? So I looked this up and it said, hey, competence and learning. Competence and learning, that's an example of internal motivation. And one thing they talked about, it says, hey, when you're talking about competence and learning, that's your desire just to get better. You're just even focused on the end results, Yadrika. You're not even focused on that. You're just focused on the process, the work that you're putting in. That's what's driving you. That's what motivates you. Just putting in the work every day because you know the result's going to happen. You don't even worry about that. You just want to get better. You want to know something. You want to get after something. You want to master something. You want to learn something. So it's that competence and that learning. That's a form of internal motivation. That is a form of internal motivation. What else is there? Well, let's talk about it. Let me reshare my screen. Another form of motivation on top of competence and learning, you have self-image. Self-image. You want to improve your self-image, how you feel about you. That can be a motivator. You want to make sure that, hey, man, you see yourself as a winner. So you do things and you create an image in your head of how you should be and you work towards that. That's a driver. That's a motivator. Hey, this is how I am, or this is how I used to be. This is how I see myself. This is where I want to go with my life. This is the image that I have of myself. And that's what's driving me. That's what's working. That's what has me working so hard because I know who I am right now. I know who I want to be. I'm bridging that gap. And it's going to take faith patience and work to do it. And then, of course, creativity, being creative, that can be an intrinsic, but just trying to express your creativity. You got ideas. You got theories, and you want to innovate. You want to create things. That's an intrinsic motivator. And then, of course, last but not least, one of the most powerful is purpose. I mean, you just got something that's been planted inside of you that you've connected with in a way that it's a supernatural thing. In everything that you do, and it's leading you and it's steering you towards your purpose. You are in an alignment and in tune with your purpose. That's an intrinsic motivator of you being able to tap into and walk out and walk in your purpose. Intrinsic motivation. But then you have extrinsic motivation, which is external motivation. What are those things? You got incentives. You got incentives. Incentives can be, hey, money. It could be a trip. It could be a piece of recognition. Any type of incentive that can be an external motivator, which is fine. Those are great. But then another powerful external motivator is fear. The fear of loss. The fear of something that, hey, man, if I don't do this, then this is going to happen. And that creates an anxiety, a fear. That could be a motivator. Power. If you do X, Y, Z, then you'll get this position, this level of power. That can be a motivator. And then last but not least, you got affiliation and social. That, hey, if you do these things, it's going to put me in a different station in life, a different socioeconomic class. I'll be affiliated with a certain group. I'll be a part of a certain club. I'll be a part of a different dynamic within this organization. That can be an external motivator. I can tell you right now, guys, in my Primerica career, I've been driven by both sides, internal motivators and external motivators. Can I get an amen on that? What about in your life? Can you agree that there's been some things that have motivated you? It's just inside of you. They're internal motivators that's driven you, but there's also been some things that's external that's motivated you as well. Is anybody with me? Raise your hand if you're with me, right? And so I'm here to tell you, it's the same thing in this business. You just got to find what sparks you, what triggers you, what motivates you. I feel the most powerful and the one that lasts the longest through ups and through downs, they have to come internal. They have to come from inside. The internal motivators are the most powerful. Now, we can use the externals to kind of keep things interesting, to keep things fun, to keep things, kind of here, just exciting. But when that excitement dies down, when that contest is over, when that incentive is passed, when the fear of that thing happening has waned, when you've achieved that association or that affiliation with that group, what's still motivating you? And so we got to make sure that we tap into that. Now, as we go into this next part, I'm going to need somebody to do me a favor. I want you to get me the definition. And really, this is for everybody. I want you to look up the definition of ambition and the definition of alignment. I want everybody to look up the definition of ambition and the definition of alignment. It's going to come in handy here in just a second. Ambition and alignment, right? And as we finish our Mamba moment, I want you to ask yourself, what motivates you right now? Is it something that's internal? Is it something that's external? Is it none of the above? What is motivating you right now? Right now. Is it money? That's an external motivator. Is it a promotion? That's an external motivator. Is it, man, I just want to be able to improve how I am and who I am as a person? That's an internal motivation. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to be better. That's an internal motivator, right? What's motivating you right now? You don't have to answer that, but start to think about that and let's tap into that. All right. Now, the training that I'm going to go over tonight, I'm calling it ambitious goal setting, motivated inside out. Ambitious goal setting, motivated inside out. So have y'all looked up the definition of ambition and alignment for me? Okay, y'all got that? Shadrika, I know that you are a master teacher in classroom, stuff like that. If you don't mind, read for us the definition of ambition.
Sure thing. Ambition, a strong desire to do or to achieve something, typically requiring determination and hard work. For example, her ambition was to become a pilot. So an example given. Also, a desire and determination to achieve success.
A desire and determination to achieve success. Thank you for that. Now, do y'all got the definition of alignment as well? Everybody's got that? Sean, if you don't mind, give me the definition of alignment.
Arrangement in a straight line or in a correct way or appropriate relative positions.
Okay. Is there anything beyond that that's in addition to that it's saying? Or somebody have a different definition? Mom, you got your hand up? Talk to us. Thanks for that, Sean.
I have, if two things or people are in alignment, they are the same as or similar to each other, in agreement with each other. They are out of or in agreement with one another.
Very good. Very good. Awesome. Ambition and alignment. I want you guys to just marinate on those two definitions, because what I want you to understand that in this business, ambition and alignment, in order for somebody to be successful in Primerica, they got to have both. Primerica does not work without ambition and being in alignment. It does not work. It does not work. So what do I mean by that? You want to look for people, if you're growing your business, if you're recruiting and developing your team and all that type of stuff, the type of candidates that you're looking for, if you want to grow your agency, you want to look for people who are ambitious and have the ability to be in alignment. Has anybody ever been told that their car was out of alignment? Has anybody ever been told that before?
Yes.
I mean, if you've driven a car for any period of time, especially in Houston, Texas, with all the potholes and the craziness on the road, you run that car over these roads and these surfaces long enough, your car is going to be thrown out of alignment. And let me show you guys a graphic of a car that's thrown out of alignment, right? And so this is an image that I saw on the internet. I said, hey, man, that's pretty good, right? And so these are some examples of when a vehicle is out of alignment. So you got wheels that are turned a certain way, and when your wheels are turned a certain way because it's out of alignment, it causes excessive wear and tear on the tires. You got a tire pulling this way, you got one pulling that way, all of that. If you took your hand off the steering wheel, man, your car might drift to the left. If you take it off, it might drift to the right, all of that. And man, and it's just throwing the car out of whack. It's not moving in an efficient manner, as opposed to when the car is in alignment. That means that the tires and the whole suspension system and everything, when it's correctly aligned, it's doing its job and it's moving and operating at the most efficient fashion. I'm here to tell you right now, guys, Primerica does not work without ambition and being in alignment. It will not work for you, and it will not work for anybody that you bring on board. So what am I saying? You got to have ambition. You have to have ambition, and you have to have the ability to be in alignment. Now, I'm not talking about being in alignment with what somebody's telling you and what somebody's saying and all that type of stuff. There's a place for coachability. What I'm saying is you got to be in alignment with the goals and dreams that you say you want to accomplish. The actions that you take have to be congruent in alignment with the goals and dreams that you say that you want to accomplish. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. And so, with that being said, these are 8 examples of ambition in life. 8 examples of ambition in life. Wanting to be somebody. Wanting to be somebody. So Queen, let me ask you a question. You come on mute for me. How long have you wanted to be somebody?
All my life.
Your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Was it something that you woke up and you saw somebody else wanting to be somebody, so you say, I want to be somebody? Or it was just something that was always in you, like, man, I want to be somebody?
It was an internal indicator, always from jump. I mean, from every level, from even being a childhood, adolescence, high school, college to an adult, it all has something that's driving me to be better. From my external environment, I didn't want to be stuck in that, right? So not being stuck in an external environment, I had to do something internally to get out of the environment, right? To make a decision, like, hey, you know what? I don't want to be this, and so I know I need to do something to get out of it. So I definitely had that motivation from a young childhood.
I got you. Talana, let me get you to stir the pot real quick with it. How long, my sister, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you wanted to be somebody?
I'd say all my life as well. But for me, it's a little bit of a different spin on that because so when I think about my family, I think about how they're deep down in them trenches. So it was almost the sheer fear of not ending up like that. And when I tell you, we're even in positions where just last month I'm putting $200 on life insurance, and I've been licensed for what, 7, 8 months now. And so the sheer fear of not ending up like that has propelled me to excel and try to be the best at wherever God is planning me. I need to excel and I need to be the best for the sheer fear of not ending up like a lot of examples where I see people are squandering God-given talents and gifts.
Wow, that's powerful. And that's motivation. And that can compel you to want to be somebody. And I dare say, and I humbly submit, guys, that everybody on this call, you want to be somebody. You wanted to, wherever you are in life, you aren't satisfied with that. You aren't settling. It's something that's stirring in your spirit. This is saying, hey man, you need to push it. You need to go for it. There's more that you can do. There's gifts and talents that you can stir up, all that type of stuff. And so you can be bigger and beyond where you are. Like, you want to be somebody. Because if you didn't want to be somebody, you probably wouldn't be on this call right now. You wouldn't have made it as far as you've made it in life right now. Because I feel the same way, similar to what Talana said. I mean, we come from the same soil. I mean, it's a lot of people that we grew up around, just in my generation, that they had so many different talents, different abilities and things like that. And I saw them get involved with things and do things that steered them down a path. But I always felt, even before seeing those things and saying, man, I don't want to be a cautionary tale like this person or that person. I want to go do something with my opportunity. I don't want to go down the wrong path. I want to be able to go to another level and keep going from there. But I always felt different. I always felt special, even when I was a kid. And I just see that translating as that, man, I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to be somebody. Does anybody else feel that way? Even as you were younger, growing up, that, man, whatever your circumstance was, that you wanted to be somebody. I hope that was you. Man, I heard Oprah Winfrey give an interview. And she talked about when she was a little girl and how her grandmother, I hope I don't get this story wrong, but how her grandmother, whoever was looking after her, she was an older lady, was talking to her about, when she gets older, she'll be hanging the clothes on the line and this, that, and the other. This is how you do it. That way you know how to do it. And she was teaching her how to do certain things, the day-to-day routine that she was doing. And she was trying to show her when she was a little girl. So she was telling her, so when you get older, you know how to do this. And she said, as a little girl, something was ringing off inside of her that I'm not going to be doing this. I'm not going to be doing that. And she said she doesn't know where it came from, but she just had this sense of self, even as a younger person. Now, no shade against the family that was telling her that, but she said, man, I had a bigger vision for myself even before I knew what it was. And so wanting to be somebody, that is an example of being ambitious. So guys, we got to be people who want to be somebody. We want to surround ourselves around people who want to be somebody, being passionate and being persistent, being passionate about something, the ability to get excited, to get eaten up, to get on fire about something, and to work it with a level of persistence without quitting, without stopping. I'm going to get to it until the day. Guys, that is an example of being persistent. That's an example, man. Having a vision. Having a vision. Sean, you got a vision. Am I right? You have a vision. You talked about it. You have a vision of how you see yourself and the impact you have in your. Am I right? You got a vision? That's ambition. That's an example of ambition. When you're around people that they can't see nothing, they don't like, I don't know it, I don't see myself. Has anybody ever run across somebody that they say things like that? I can't see myself. And whatever comes after that, you just shake your head to it like, what? Just don't let it be you. Examples of ambition. Seeking knowledge. Seeking knowledge. That is an example of ambition. Is seeking knowledge. We got to do that. We got to seek knowledge. We got to be people that that we're trying to get better. We're not complacent. We're not, above, the whole notion of working on ourselves. We got to get better, because that's a part of showing ambition, is seeking knowledge, whether it's from books, whether it's from videos, or whether it's from other people. Getting out of your comfort zone. That's an example of being showing ambition in life, is getting outside of your comfort zone. Guys, let me tell you something. There's so much about this business that you have to learn. There's so much about this business that you have to do and you have to master if you really want to make real money. There's a lot. And some of the things that you're going to be required to do, you're going to have to get uncomfortable. It might not be natural to you in terms of talking to people, asking people questions about their personal business, leading people to a result, sharing things, overcoming objections, addressing concern, following up with people, calling them, saving them from themselves. Y'all get what I'm saying? Some of those things are uncomfortable. Let me tell you something. Let your ambition shine through, because getting outside of your comfort zone in this business, that is an example of showing ambition, right? Taking consistent action. The consistency is the key word in that line, the consistent action, not just taking action, but consistent action. I know what you did this week, but can we count on you to do it next week, the week after, so we can set our watch by it? Being consistent in your action. I'm telling you right now, guys. That's important. That's powerful. And yeah, that's an example of ambition. What else? Making an impact. Whatever you're doing, it's a big daggum deal. You're making an impact on people's lives. That's an example of ambition. And then last but not least, number 8, finishing the assignment. Finish the assignment. So you started it. Now you got to finish it. You started it, but did you finish? That's key. You got to do that. You got to finish the assignment. All right. Those are 8 examples of ambition. And so now you got to do a checkup from the neck up. How ambitious have you been? How have you been showing your ambition in this business? Because I'm telling you right now, this does not work without being ambitious and being in alignment. All right. So now let's shift to some goal setting. and I know this isn't new to some of you guys, setting SMART goals, right? SMART is an acronym. Setting, the S stands for specific, right? Specific goals. Be clear about what you want. M is for measurable, right? That's the evidence that proves that you are making progress. How can you measure your goal and how far you are from it, how close you are to it, right? Your goal has to be measurable. And then the A stands for achievable, right? Can it reasonably be accomplished? If I say, man, I want to be the president of the United States, or I want to go play running back for the Texans, now they're winning, right? That could be a goal, but that's not reasonable. Y'all with me, right? So the goal that you set for yourself, it has to be reasonable. It has to be relevant. Relevant just means that it's important to you. It serves a purpose for you, right? It's important to you. It's relevant. You're connected to it in that way. And then last but not least, time sensitive, time bound. That's the letter T in SMART. And your goal has to have a deadline. It needs to have a deadline. So where am I going with this? You heard me mention it last week. Now I want to lean into it. What are your top three? What are the top three financial goals you want your Primerica business to help you accomplish in 2024? Nick, you've already asked me that. I've already got it written down. Great. I'm asking you again. I'm asking you to think about it again. I'm asking you to write it down again. I'm asking you to look at it again. What are the top three financial goals you want your Primerica business to help you accomplish this year in 2024? And they can fall in any of these categories. Family, it could be a savings goal. You want to save up X amount of dollars, and it could be in a retirement account. It can be an emergency fund account, wherever the case may be. You just want to see a certain amount of money sitting in an account by the end of the year. Savings goal. It could be a debt elimination goal. Good Lord, man, I want to pay the credit card off. I want to pay my student loan off. I want to pay my car off. I want to do all of these things. Man, whatever it is, I want to be able to put this towards the house. I want to be able to put this towards this debt to help pay that down or pay that off. That could be one of your goals. Remember, these are financial goals you want your Primerica business to help you accomplish. It could be a purchase goal. You might want to buy something. You might want to buy a new car, go on a shopping spree, whatever the case may be. You might want to purchase something that you've been wanting for a while, and it could be for business, it could be for pleasure. It's a purchase goal. It's okay. It's your goal, and it's a financial goal. What is your goal? It might be a vacation goal. Where you want to go? How you want to go? How long you want to stay there? Whatever that vacation goal is, write it down. Write it down. If it's one of your top three financial goals, it could be an experience goal. Is there an experience that you want to give yourself or someone else? What experience do you want to be able to pay for? Right? That can be one of your goals. Charitable goal, you want to give this much, you want to donate that much, whatever the case may be. It could be a charitable goal. It could be part of your top three financial goals. You want to be able to give a loved one, a sibling, a parent, this, whatever the case, you want to be able to give them that. And it could be a family goal, something that you want to do with your family that costs money. But these are the different categories that might be able to help you identify what your top three financial goals are. Even if you got your list, I just challenge you to look at that list that you've made, your top three financial goals, and just really study it and say, hey, man, are these the most compelling, powerful goals that I have identified that I want to accomplish this year? Not trying to get you to change anything, just trying to get you to look at them again. What are your top three financial goals you want your Primerica business to help you accomplish? And then once you've got them written down, I want you to do as much research as you can, if necessary. If it's paying off a debt, you already know what that debt balance is. If it's a savings goal, you already know what that savings goal is. But for the vacation or a purchase or whatever the case may be, go do the research, go figure out how much it is, and put a dollar amount next to each of your three goals. Put a dollar amount next to them. But that's not all. That's not all I want you to do. Because once you identify your top 3 goals, this is what I want you to do, family. Listen to me. I want you to meditate over your goals daily. Spend some time visualizing in meditation you achieving your goals. If it's 5 minutes, if it's 10 minutes, or however many minutes, spend some time by yourself meditating over your goals daily. I'm challenging you to do that once you got your goals identified. It could be you sitting in your car. It can be you finding a quiet place at the job. It could be you going and a place at your house. Wherever you can, get by yourself and meditate over your goals daily. The way I like to meditate, I like to put my headphones in. I have a meditation playlist, and I like to just lose myself in meditation. I close my eyes, the tracks are going, I got it on shuffle, and I like visualizing the things in my future and what it's going to be like. I like it. That's the way that I do it. And sometimes I just like clearing my mind. I just like just being quiet and just letting, myself just flow, right? I see a lot of colors when I meditate and stuff like that. But I just challenge you to do that. Next thing I want you to do, I want you to keep your goals with you. That means that you need to keep a written copy of your goals at all times. Now, check this out. You can have a picture of it on your phone, Talana, but something to where you can refer to, like when your supervisor or somebody getting on your nerves, you'd be like, man, let me look at these goals to remind myself of get back in my happy place. Let me look at my goals real quick. Yep, there it is. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Keep your goals with you. Keep your goals with you at all times. If I run up on y'all, and I say, hey, man, how you doing? We talking this. Hey, man, show me your goals. Where your goals at? Ooh, they in the... No. Keep them with you at all times. Keep them with you like it's your driver's license or something. Like it's your debit card. Like it's your cell phone. That's why I say keep it on your cell phone, because you ain't going nowhere without that phone. Some of y'all leave home, get halfway to the other side of Houston, figure out you left your phone, you turn it right back around to go get your phone because you got too many responsibilities to be without a method of communication. Am I right or am I right? So just as important as your phone is to you, that's how your goals should be to you, right? Because let me tell you something, guys. Goals are not like a Christmas list. Kids make a daggum Christmas list and they put that Christmas list away in a drawer somewhere and they never, hey, it's just what it is, right? That ain't goals, right? No, goals are living, breathing things, right? And so I had one of my mentors tell me this. He said, Nick, man, you got to keep your goals with you at all times. You got to look at them all the time. I said, well, why do you say that? He said, well, let me give you this example. He said, man, you've been in the business long enough to where you've scheduled a lot of appointments before, right? You've had weeks where you've had a lot of activity, a lot of appointments booked. He said, yes or no? And I said, yes, I have. He said, well, Nick, let me ask you this. What if you schedule, check this out, 30 appointments over a 2-week period? 30 appointments, first-time appointments over a 2-week period. You wrote them down, you put it in your calendar. Listen to me. You set them up. You got some on Monday, some on Tuesday, some on Wednesday, some on Thursday, some on Saturday. Y'all get what I'm saying? They spread out over 2 weeks. I scheduled 30 appointments. I put them in my calendar, Cheryl. I look at them once. I close the calendar book up, put it in a drawer, and never break it out again. How many of those appointments, Yvette, do you think I'm going to make? I might do good the first day. The second day, I'm gonna start getting phone calls. Hey man, are you coming? Who is this? Hey man, this is Charles. I'm at your office. I thought you said to meet me at your office at 1 o'clock. Ooh, Charles, my bad, man. I'm on the other side of town. I forgot we were meeting. And he said, that's how your goals are. If you write your goals down and you never look at them, they waiting on you, but you ain't showing up. Your goals are waiting on you, but you ain't showing up because you ain't looking back at them. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing and where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. So your goals are like, man, where is that at? I was supposed to meet her today. I guess, man, I guess she busy. All right, let me go on back in here into the blessed place, and maybe next time when she calls me forth, she'll meet me. Guys, don't be that way. Keep your goals on you. Look at them. Keep them with you. And then last but not least, this is a big one. Read and or write your goals daily. Read and or write your goals daily. I read my goals. You want to read your goals out loud. Out loud. At least twice a day. At least twice a day. Because your words are like seeds. And you want to read your goals almost like they're affirmations. Let's say your goal is to pay off $5,000 in credit card debt. So these are examples of how to speak your goals as affirmation. You use words like I am. See, whatever follows I am will find you. Whatever follows those two words, I am, they will find you. Or I easily, or I efficiently, or I successfully, or I happily, or I excitedly. Are y'all with me? That's how you say your goals. Man, I easily pay off my $5,000 in credit card debt. I easily save $6,000 this year in my emergency fund. I excitedly max out my Roth IRA by putting $7,000 in there this year. I efficiently make $5,000 to be able to go on my dream vacation. See, you say those things as though they almost already happened. And that's how you say your goals. At least how many times a day? What did I say? How many times a day? 2 times a day. You read your goals. Some people double down and they write their goals along with that 2 times a day. They say there's a special connection from the mind to the hand that it almost cements it by just writing your goals. I say them. If you really want to get tapped in, say them and write them at least 2 times a day. And so, and this is a big one right here. This is what I do as well. And I encourage you to do the same. Whatever your goal is, you say accomplishing, insert your goal. Accomplishing paying off my $5,000 in debt is a part of me, and I deserve it. Accomplishing the goal of saving an extra $25,000 this year is a part of me, and I deserve it. Because family, I'm here to tell you, we got to start telling ourselves that we deserve these things, that these things are a part of who we are. And that we start seeing ourselves accomplishing these goals. And these are just some ways that you can double down. To align it more with purpose, go 7 layers deep to connect yourself to your goals, to connect your goals to your purpose. Go 7 layers deep. You say you want to pay your credit card debt, ask yourself this question, and you do this 7 times. Think about whatever your goal is. I want you to get one of your goals in mind right now. Everybody got it? What is one of your goals right now? You got it? My question to you is, why is that important to you? You don't have to answer it out loud, but I want you to think about, why is that important to you? Accomplishing that goal, why is that important to you? And you probably come up with your answer. And whatever your answer is, you say, well, because paying off that credit card debt is going to alleviate stress and I don't have to pay that bill anymore and stuff like that. Okay, great. Whatever that answer is, check this out. Ask yourself again. Okay, well, why is that important to you? And that's important to you that you're asking about is the answer to the last question. Well, why is that important to you? You do that 7 times. You'll dig deeper and deeper down into why that goal is important to you, that it may move you to tears. And that will connect your goal to a deeper purpose. Because if you're motivated by purpose, teammates, I promise you, you will be unstoppable. And so Raheem and I, this year, the year of the Mamba, we're going to build a big base shop of competent field trainers and independent producers that consistently make money and save money. We want you to accomplish your goals by being consistent. We want you to accomplish your goals by making money, by saving money. But we want you to be connected to the purpose behind that more than you ever have. And I think that that'll help motivate you in your goal setting. All right? We love each and every last one of you guys. Let's go out and do something special. Let's go do something big. And let's go be motivated inside and out and connected to our purpose.